So let's do a quick 3, 2, 1, Tetris, and that's the get a camera on the caster guy. There actually is at some points, so at points we do have a camera here on me, but mostly in between matches. And we have Bioin, I hope I pronounced it properly, Bioin doing a huge raid of a party of 169 people. Welcome these 170 people here at CT1, the French NES Tetris Championship. It's a regional qualifier for the CTWC in the United States, and we are basically in the top 8 winners bracket. We have a double elimination. Yeah, so a lot of matches here happening. And here we currently have Toni from Switzerland facing against Tugi from Austria. Tugi having the highest qualification. Then we have Matteo, Macy, the highest ranked, the best French Tetris player, as well as Phloxae, who is from the UK. Yeah, the only non-roader here is Toni. Everyone else is roading. So for the game, we have 118 versus 136, so about a Tetris lead here for Tugi, as well as 161 versus 159. So it is neck and neck between Macy and Phloxae, also known as Violet. I may call her Violet instead because that's easier to pronounce, even though the bracket does say Phloxae. I simply don't know how to pronounce that name, and I always forget. Toni has opened up, so you can go for the next Tetrises here. He's already about 2.5 Tetrises behind Toni and misdropped that OP. He's overshifted it, so he now has a hole in the stack that he needs to work around. And Macy as well as Phloxae are in a clean situation here. There's a question, Macy top out incoming. As a roader, you can play feels like endlessly high. Getting a top out on level 18 as a roader is actually quite hard to do. It is possible, but a roader will near always find a way to get out of any situation. So, yeah, unlikely for Macy to just top out here. Tugi saying the pronunciation is Violet. Oh yeah, the pronunciation of Phloxae definitely is Violet. You are correct. Yeah, we are at about the halfway point. We have a low to mid 400k projection for Toni, mid 600 for Tugi. Tugi on a banger game here. About 600k here for Macy, and about mid 650 for Phloxae Violet as well. So yeah, the 3 rollers at really high paces, and Toni is really keeping up here. We also have Hazelnut. Okay, there's a bit of updates by Adam. But we have Hazelnut Milk in the chat saying, Adam, do the Macarena. Oh. He said no, I have to disappoint you. He has some stuff to do. You know, he's basically working. Oh, mischiefs here by Toni. Didn't get the SPs to he wanted it to go, so now he needs to clean it up again here. Which is just gonna allow Tugi to get an even bigger lead. And Tugi now in a 7 Tetris lead here. Massive lead. Macy versus Violet is basic. Yeah, second neck. There's a 4k difference. So just a few singles. And we have Toni still trying to clean this up. It's gonna take a bit longer, as you can see. But the cleanup is somewhat done. He is now going on a Kadam 8. My nose is a bit itchy. The level 19 transition with the game does get for the third. Quicker is coming up quite quickly here. And Macy actually was able to get in a bit of a lead here, just over Tetris lead here for Macy. For the transition. And in the chat, I like how the leads are expressed in terms of number of Tetrises in this board. Yeah, it makes a ton of sense to have it, because just of how Tetris scoring works. Points matters, Tetrises matter, so both are a good way to get a feeling of these score difference. Okay, next Tetris, and the transitions are coming up. 6:38 transition here for Tugi. Massive transition for Tugi. We have seen Death players get to level 29, a bit of a lower score. Oh. And it looks like we are getting ready for the t-shirts, so I had it back in the background, where there's a ton of shirts of the CTWC France shirts. Oh yeah, and transition here is happening for everyone. We also have SV saying, "Let's go England" in the chat. So some cheering here for Phloxae, Violet. Point-wise, the lead for Macy is not about 2.5 Tetrises, whereas the Tugi Tetris lead is, 300k, 10 Tetris lead here for Tugi. So for Toni, this would require Tugi to top out, and then a pretty good level 19 speed. So you're gonna be tough here for Toni. And Dream in the chat saying also, "Let's go France." So people are cheering here for basically everyone, or like the two people in the bottom match at least. As we're saying, Toni's already lost. Realistically, yeah, but you still wanna fight oftentimes. Matchup is just tough here on Toni. But yeah, 70k lead here now for Macy. The seed difference between Macy and Phloxae was just 1, but about a 100k difference. But that miss-off, that PC on the left for Macy is going to do it. So Macy is topping out at 849. 849 top out here for Macy. Toni also topping out at 558. So yeah, Toni having lost here, and let's see if... Yeah, no! Phloxae doesn't get the bar over, and that means that, yeah, Macy takes game number 1. That was a tight game between these two. Could have gone either way, but they both topped out mid-19-ish. Yeah, now it's only Tugi who is left, showcasing what she can do, having a casual max out. Showing us the power of rolling, what you can do here. Yeah, getting the next Tetris into a 1.1. Could get a 1.2 into level... Actually, purely theoretically, I believe he could get a 1.3 into level... Wait, no longer possible, yeah. Too many lines burned, forget it. Tugi be like... Tugi be like, I can no longer get a 1.3. Yeah, let's just give up. Yeah, that means we have 1-0 for Tugi and 1-0 for Macy. And we can soon start games number 2. Looks like the players are ready to go. No, Toni needs something to... I don't know. Oh yeah, Venus knows. Yeah, I did that earlier as well. It's part of staying healthy and being able to stay concentrated. Yeah, also it's spring, so maybe some allergies involved. So players, are you ready? I see yeses, I hear yeses drinking. So 3, 2, 1, Tetris. Also a bit in the chat saying, give him a chance, just wait, he's gonna pack out level 29 gameplay. It's true. Yeah, Toni could switch to rolling on level 29. We also have some W paces, so close, GG's in the chat. Game number 2 has started a bit ago. And now we have a slight lead here for Toni. But it's effectively neck and neck here between players. We have just under Tetris lead here for Tugi and just under a 2 Tetris lead here for Macy. So Macy starting strong, but you can come back up until level 39. At level 39 you have the double kill screen, which means 39 onwards is basically impossible to play. It's neck and neck now in all of the games here. And we have in the chat, Macy is the best stacker in the world. That's up to debate, and that's a debate I don't want to start. We have just so many amazing stackers in the team. He is definitely one of the best, though. The best. That's a decision I want to make ever. Phloxae is quite high here. It's opening up once again. Yeah, bar of course does come a bit too late. But he has another bar and Tetris for both players. So 231 against 194. About 1.5 Tetris lead here for Macy. Upper match we have 195 to 11. So it's neck and neck, about a 0.7 lead here for Tugi. Next Tetris are happening here between Toni and Tugi. Yeah, it's still neck and neck. Amazing to see how close Toni can be, as he is not rolling, he's just guessing. As we also saying, when people think you're a cheater, you're either one of the best in the world or a fraud, and Macy is not a fraud. Yep, that's why I said he is one of the best, but being like he's the best, there's so much that comes into play there. Like all of the different levels, all of the different play styles, all of the different situations that you can be in, like in-person tournaments, online tournaments, the different seeds, how you play around them. That's why I'm like, I will admit I lack the knowledge of like every single player and every single situation that they've ever been in to be like, yes, this one is the best, which I'm like not comfortable saying that someone is the best. Just because I don't watch every single Tetris game ever. Adam was like, what? How come that you don't watch every Tetris game ever? I work. I make money and I work. That's the only reason why. Adam was like, make money from Tetris. Good point, good point. But yeah, back to business. We have about a 3.5 Tetris lead here for Toni at about 2/3. Sorry, 2.5 Tetris for Tugi, about 2/3 into. And we have about a 2.5 Tetris lead here for Macy at about 90 lines now. Yeah, small misjobs here on Tugi's side, so there's a bit of cleanup to do. Doesn't really allow Toni to get much closer, sadly, as Toni is now in a drought here. And next set was here to Toni, now 385 against 501, as well as 500 versus 444 at the bottom, so about a 2.5 Tetris lead here still for Macy. Nice lead here. Super Mark saying, being a responsible adult instead of wasting away in bed watching Tetris all day. Yeah. And yeah, people are just talking about like Andy and Scooty also being like some of the best players. We have just a ton of amazing players here in the Tetris scene. And level 19 is just around the corner. We have 5 lines left to go for Phloxae here. Not having a clean board, so level 19 is gonna like a few Tetrises at the beginning. Whereas Macy is decently clean. And 519 transition here for Phloxae. 576 for Macy. We have 537 Tugi. And the final 1-2 transition is gonna be Toni, who is really high, getting the bar, not over, so topping out at 461. So that means you have a 2-0 here for Tugi. topping out just afterwards. Be like, yeah, okay, I'm not gonna run on that till the end. Just have one game going currently. One between Macy and Phloxae. Looks like the players on the left are ready to go. So let's start their game number 3 here in 3, 2, 1, Tetris. It is match point for Tugi, so if Tugi manages to win this game, he would have won the whole match and advanced to the winners semi-final. Yeah. Phloxae on the left side, not getting the bar over after the hang. That's a 729 top out, and that means Macy is already able to take game number 2 here. And also a match point there coming up for Macy next. So let's see if Macy can take it home in game number 3. Upper match is neck and neck currently, less than a Tetris lead here for Tugi. And let's start match point for Macy in 3, 2, 1, Tetris. And there's also a bit more in the chat about the best tapper here, saying, Adam, you should do a best of 2 or like 3 where you need to take death, tap, roll, and whoever wins like most wins, something like that. And some more ideas. Yeah, just talking about how to figure out who the best attacker in the world is. And I feel like a mixed bracket where you have to play like all types, and when the most types you win, that feels reasonable to me. So you need, of course, more than just the best of 1 per style. So probably like best of 5, best of 7 per style. That should work nicely. We're approaching the halfway mark at the upper match and have 250 for Toni. So Toni's approaching a mid 500k transition. And we have 330 here for Tugi. So Tugi's approaching a mid 600 transition. The lower match has basically just started, so it is neck and neck. Yes, the next set was going to Macy. So Macy now is the tiniest lead of the leads ever. Whereas Tugi now at a 50k lead. Oh, yeah, 2.5 Tetrises, 3.5 Tetrises now. Quite nice here for Tugi. Currently looks like Tugi will sweep Toni and make it into a semi. $99.7 played between Toni and Tugi, and the lead is still within like 3.5 Tetris range. So Toni is doing quite well, trying to stay as close to Tugi as possible. The next Tetris here going to Tugi once again. Bit of a cleanup now that he has to do soon, as he has 3 high. I mean, 3 high as a loader is quite easily doable, but you know, you still wanna be low most of the time. It looks like Tugi will be cleaned up soon. In the bottom match, we currently have a 50k lead or 2.5 status lead here for our British player Phloxae. Just waiting for the next bar, getting the next bar, and Tetris to Phloxae here. We have 508, 547, so as I said, Toni is keeping up on Tugi. Phloxae has a bit of a dirty setup, so she needs to clean up quite a lot before she can go for Tetris again. Macy also not in the cleanest situation, so there as well it may take a bit, but he is in a closer situation than Phloxae, so Macy could catch up soon. Transition happening now at 596 here for Tugi, 596. And Toni could get a higher transition in. 596 it was. If Toni can get the final bar. Yeah, give him the bar. 596 we had. And 603 for Toni. 600k transition for Toni. Massive transition and even beating Tugi here. So well played here by Toni on level 18. Level 19 is gonna shift more in favor towards Tugi due to how limited the death movement is on my. Yeah, the bottom match is also getting close to the level 19 transition. About 20 lines go until the transition here. Yeah, it looks like Toni is gonna be out of this digging situation a tiny bit earlier. So depending on how, okay, the bar comes now, okay. So depending on the next bar falls down. Yeah, no. Toni can't capitalize on that in any way, shape or form, and instead it's just a lead increase here for Tugi. Transition at the bottom coming up in just a tiny bit. And Toni jumps out at 663. So our winner in the upper match is Tugi, who currently has 847. AKA he is just winning. And in the bottom match, the transition has happened. We have 434, 534, 515. So it's like a neck basically. Slight lead currently here for Phloxae, who has played a single more, a line more. And getting the next Tetris in. Macy pretty high, gets the bar and Tetris as well though. One more Tetris here now going towards Macy. So the bottom match is currently at 709, 761, so about a 50k lead here for Phloxae. Her final chance to stay in the upper bracket currently is burning a few lines here. Macy is in a clean situation, so Macy is getting the next Tetris and is closing the gap. Phloxae is now basically open again, is playing one high and high. And yeah, so Tugi comes out at 1.1, and that means we can focus on the bottom match here, as we are currently on level 25 each, so about 190 lines played. Next Tetris are being... okay, so Phloxae closes the center world here. I assume that was a mistake. Is now having the next bar and Tetris for Phloxae into 878 versus 839 here for Macy. So Macy now is the lead, having this Tetris 903, 882. Smaller hole in the stack here for Phloxae, so Phloxae has to clean that up. And level 29 is fast approaching, and we know that Macy's 29 is really good. And DanV, the next British player, has already made his way over here, so we're gonna see him play next. Level 28 for Phloxae, 927. Level 28 for Macy at 982. So about a 55k lead here into level 28 for Macy. The last stretch of 19 speeds into level 29 transition. Max out here for Macy. Phloxae also getting the max out into level 29. So Phloxae is now playing at the maximum vanilla speed that Macy also has reached. Now about a 50k, 1.5 status lead here currently for Macy. But Macy is doing a few pieces. This could be the top out here for Macy. Yeah, Macy's staying and can't get the pieces anywhere. So Macy tops out at a 1.06, which means your goal is an A64, and it's barely enough here by Phloxae, which means Phloxae tops out, and we have our next winner. Huge GG's to all of the players. And still... Okay, players are ready. Let's start the second top 8 in 3, 2, 1, Tetris! Let's see what DanV and VoidCat can do here. DanV got 2 1.3s in qualification, and VoidCat or Kenzie got a 1.4 and a 1.2, I believe, in qualifications. So they both got an average of 1.3. Yeah, might be quite close between them. But they don't face off against each other right now. They will in the semifinals. What's kind of crazy is that, depending on how it goes, the same players could face off in 3 matches against each other. So like, for example, the winners finals, and then the grand finals, and then the grand finals bracket reset. So just a huge ton of potential matches here. And I just realized that there is some issues in the names that I admittedly forgot to update. So I will do that right now. That's just a lot to keep in mind. So I apologize that I need to update the names here. Give me a second, please. Oh, wait. VoidCat, yeah. And Bergtroll. Thanks for pointing that out, Kingsman. Okay, so early on in the games we have 229 for Dan, 175 for Piernov. So we have a big lead of about 3.5 Tetrises here for DanV. In the bottom we have 194 for Kenzie versus 215 for Bergtroll. So we have about a 1 Tetris lead here currently for... Okay, it's not down to neck and neck. So Kenzie, Bergtroll currently neck and neck. But of course this is just the beginning of 18, as the first half is nearly over of 18. Then we have all of 19, essentially all of 29 up to level 39 happening. Just a ton of Tetris action here in the best of 5. Near the background of the players, you can see Sivelle wear the CTWC France shirt. So Sivelle, if you want, you can make a bit of a promotion of the back side, because there's an amazing artwork on it. Yeah, he doesn't. Yes. It's a nice looking shirt, so we have a few left over. I don't know how many exactly Gunther knows. But there's like a few, so if you don't have one already, you can still get one. Kind of surprising, Bergtroll was able to have the lead here in the beginning against Lukensin of about 2 Tetrises or about 40k. I mean, it's just game 1, level 18, there's a lot that we will, like, that they still have to play. Just interesting to see. In the upper match, in the meantime, we have about a 3.5, 4.5 Tetris now lead for DanV. So DanV having about the lead that I expected. I mean, Piernov is putting up a fight as a non-roader here. I believe as a tapper, so that's of course going to be quite challenging for him. Because, you know, a roader just has that much more movement space. On the other side, of course, we're only playing 18, where the strength of rolling doesn't show as much as on 19, and of course, especially 29, so let's see how that will evolve at that point. But yeah, what a Tetris lead here for Bergtroll. And we are having a bit of an early top out here by Piernov at 446. Means we already have the 1-0 here for DanV 1-0. And we have about a 50, about a neck and neck here, and transition at 521, 520. So barely any difference here between these two players in the transition. But of course, this is only level 19. There's level 19 completely to come, level 29. Then V and Piernov, are you ready to play? I hear yes. So let's start their game when looks good. Yeah, so let's do a 3, 2, 1, Tetris. Okay, so Lukensin is now able to get a bit of a lead in. It's behind in lines. There's about a 1.5 Tetris lead here. Nice situation here for Lukensin after being behind in the beginning. Now able to be ahead. In the upper match, we have DanV and Piernov a bit high, but survivable. DanV has opened this up and is just waiting for the bar for Tetris number 1, which does take a bit. Yeah, here's the bar and Tetris for DanV finally. Nothing about a Tetris lead here, obviously, against Piernov. Piernov in a lot of danger. He is quite high. He doesn't get the JPs over, which means Piernov does top out at just 12,000 points. And we already have the 2-0 for DanV. Quick top out, but that sometimes just happens. The bottom match is currently at level 24. Bergtroll getting the bar over, nice. Wants the bar for column 3 optimally. Can also use like a J piece. But okay, Dirty Tetris ready. Does he get the bar? He does get the bar. Dirty Tetris for Bergtroll. Well played here. And DanV, Piernov, do you just want to go for game 3 or? Yeah, they say yes, so let's do a 3, 2, 1 Tetris for them. They have started the match point of DanV. This could potentially be it for Piernov in the upper bracket. Of course, if you lose here, you still have at minimum 1 more match in the lower bracket. A bit later. It is now 883, 817, about a 70k lead here for Lukensin. Next Tetris here going for Bergtroll. So we have a 1.5 Tetris lead about for Lukenzi at the same lines. And we are just so close to the level 29 transition here. Let's see how level 29 will go for these players. We have about a Tetris to go. 4 lines for Bergtroll, 5 lines for Lukenzi. 9.55 transition here for Bergtroll. Doesn't get the bar over, gets the next bar over. Next bar also a hang, which means Bergtroll tops out at 9.56. 9.57 is the goal here for Lukenzi. 9.43 has now been played. And 9.80, that's it. We have the victory here for Lukenzi. Well played. Being able to take game number 1. And we are close to double max out. Maybe we can get the double max out in game number 2 between Lukenzi and Bergtroll. Yeah, good game. Made it to level 29. Stay close most of the time. Well played here. In the upper match, we currently have a 1.5, now 2.5 Tetris lead here for DanV. 130 versus 71. For DanV, 2.5 Tetrises ahead. And the bottom match is ready, so let's start the match point in, game 2 in 3, 2, 1, Tetris. DanV now up to a 4.5 or about 100k lead here. So, huge lead here for DanV. Route approaching here at the bottom, now 18-19 pieces. Okay, just a short route. And both players now having the first Tetris. Quite late. Look like 6-7 lines, like 6 for Lukenzi, 7 for Bergtroll. And there was in the chat asking, hey Jacob, did Lukenzi change their name? I believe it's just the nickname they use for the event here. I would have to ask them if they have changed completely. I don't... Okay, it's just for the event confirmation. Okay, so it's a event name change, you could say. But Lukenzi still is Lukenzi. Next set was here going to DanV. DanV now at 342 against 206 of Piernov. So Piernov about 7 Tetrises now behind. Huge lead here, as I said, for DanV that is only going to get bigger and bigger. In the bottom match, we are currently neck and neck. We had the same score for just a bit. And the next single does same score again, but we have the Tetris now here for Lukenzi. So Lukenzi is now in a big lead again. Next Tetris going to Bergtroll. Well, neck and neck. Upper match is approaching the 100 line mark, so level 19 also isn't too far away here. For 56, 280, so 7.5 Tetrises or nearly 200k lead here. Yeah, 200k lead here basically for DanV. 8, the 9 Tetris lead here. Massive lead. We've reached the point where DanV would need to top out somewhat soon for Piernov to have a chance to catch up. Yeah, DanV is just playing quite efficient here. Next Tetris going to Bergtroll. So Bergtroll just over Tetris ahead here now. And here's the next Tetris to Bergtroll. So Bergtroll now in about a 2 Tetris lead here against Lukenzi. Okay, 6 lines to go for DanV. DanV now Tetris ready, getting a lot of bars here. Tetris for DanV. Next Tetris into transitions at 6-17. 6-17 transition here for DanV. Huge transition. Has played 13 lines more than Piernov though, so the lead does look massive, but it's a tiny bit smaller at least. And the bottom match next Tetris for Bergtroll, so Bergtroll getting ahead a bit more. But 19 and 29 can change it in favor of Lucchesi, of course. Yeah, fourth, something like 4-12, I believe it was, transition here for Piernov. So 200k lead here. Wow. Such a huge lead. And yeah, Wingfire also posting the important links in the chat. Exclamation mark qualification for the qualifications. Exclamation mark for the Matcherino. Of course, check out the Matcherino if you want to support these amazing players. And also putting the qual format. Yeah, okay, in the chat. Which is AO2 average of 2. Next set is here going to DanV. DanV now at 784 versus 433. And in the bottom match we have now 305 for Lucchesi versus 349 here for Bergtroll. About just over 40k lead here to Bergtroll. Nice position to be in. And the bottom match is also getting close to level 19, where the speed does increase by about a third. T-spin for Bergtroll does not work out so well. It's close for now, needs to clean that up. Bar to the left also doesn't work. To the right also doesn't work. Bergtroll in tough situation, topping out at 352, which means we have a bit of a chase down here for VoidCatHappy of about a Tetris. So should be doable unless something awful happens, but that's it for Bergtroll here. And Lucchesi is just going for the last few burns. And we are close to the level 29 transition at the upper match. So I won't start the next countdown. Like, we will most likely... Oh wait, DanV is winning, yeah. We won't start the next countdown for the bottom match until the upper match is over. DanV, by the way, at 1.1. And Lucchesi has won the second game. So let's focus on the level 29 transition that is coming up on DanV's side. Is waiting for the bar here in column 5. Bar doesn't fall down, so taking a few safety burns. Safety triple as well to go for the standard right well here. Next set was here for DanV. So then we're getting close to a 1.2 transition, but it's not going to be able to get it by a tiny bit. Next set was here for Piernov, 1.195, so B95 transition here for DanV. DanV hanging the LPs here, so able to work around that actually. That was well played by DanV. Getting the next few burns in. Can he get the first 1.3 of the event as well? But it looks like that could be it left. It's going to be tough to access here for DanV. And that's it for DanV. With that, we have finished the game. So let's wait 5 seconds or so until we start the next match so that we can actually focus on the end of the other one. Anyways, that was a top out. And that means 3-0 for DanV. That means DanV has won and is in the winners semifinals, while Piernov will play in the lower bracket next again. Double elimination. Match point for Lucchesi also has just started here. A bit of level 18. Last times on level 18, Bergtroll was able to build up a lead, and then VoidCatHappy or Lucchesi was able to overcome that point difference on level 19 and 29. Let's see if that will repeat, or if maybe Bergtroll can secure game so that he just continue to be in upper bracket of the CTWC France 2026. We have a few messages in chat saying, Lokense, vamos! Viva la VoidCat! So there's a few people who want Lokense to win. Haven't seen anything in favor of Bergtroll, but that might be because most French players are here on location and they don't type in the chat due to that. And that's general good luck, guys. Have fun. Lokense this time being able to secure the level 18 win of about 70k here, or just over 3 Tetris's. Next Tetris going to Lokense, so now up to just over 4. And Bergtroll can't use this bar for a Tetris as well. Also in the chat, let's go VoidCat, the cutest name in the tournament. That is very true. So half of level 18 is basically done, 264, 152. So if you talk about pace, you have like a mid 500 pace as well as a mid 300 pace. So by that, we currently have a massive lead here in terms of projection for Lokense. Bergtroll has to find a way to get more aggressive here on level 18 and potentially 19 and 29 as well. Next Tetris to Lokense. And Sive is trying to make a bit of wind, as you can or could see in the camera webcam. The next Tetris here now to Bergtroll at 251. Yeah, if you look at the Tetris percent rate, you can like see the difference of 75, 46. That's just a huge difference. So Bergtroll needs to find a way to get efficient in the second half of the game, going like 19 onwards. And you have just more and more chance for Lokense in the chat, nothing for Bergtroll. That's what I'm actually surprised by. I expected at least a few French people in the chat, but maybe not. Good point. I was Gunther was talking a bit to me, so let's focus back on the game here. We have just a few lines until the level 29 transition. 513, 403. Next Tetris here to Lokense at 536, so 550 is possible there. Yeah, 560 transition for Lokense and 429 transition for Bergtroll. So yeah, about a 130k lead here for Lokense in the transition. And Yelena in the chat saying, Vamos Lokense, vamos Bergtroll, so finding for both players. Level 19, so let's see if Bergtroll can find a way to catch up here. Last game we topped out quite early into 19, sadly. See if that will change here. Kansas' lead in points is getting a bit closer. Yeah, Tetris is happening here. I mean, we're at about 120k in the transition. It's now down to about a 90k actual point difference here. Nice simul Tetris here for the players. We have a few more burns happening soon on Mackenzie's side because of the small hole. The question is, will it be once? Will it be twice? They are trying to get as low in the stack as possible. Most maybe. I don't know. You can play one high so easily as a rotor. The lead, it's still about 80k, and thanks for the wait to Sitnif of 8 people. Enjoy the CTWC France 2024 upper bracket top 8. Next set was here going to Lokenzie. This could be the last game. It's like, it does depend. Can Bergtroll catch up? He's slowly but surely able to creep closer and closer to Lokenzie. I feel like it at least. Like, yeah, in points, the lead does kind of increase currently, but that's because Lokenzie has played more lines. Oh, but that T-piece in the shadow on the bottom of Bergtroll, that means there's gonna be a bit of cleanup to do. Oh, and the bar on the left of Bergtroll, still possible. No, the next bar hanger at Bergtroll. 742. That's a 742 top out for Bergtroll, and that means Lokenzie is able to sweep here against Bergtroll. That is a 3-0 sweep, and Lokenzie has secured their spot in the top 4, the semifinals of the upper bracket. And also max out here for Lokenzie, as you may have heard, announced by Sivell. Getting close to level 29, just one Tetris to go. Here's the Tetris. Let's see, 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. Let's see how far Lokenzie can go here. But it looks like not even the 1.1, sadly, so that's a top out by Lokenzie. Congratulations to all of the players here who have played today and are able to make it to the final. Here? I believe this one, to the final parts of the bracket. Let's quickly fix the host plus cam view.